Welcome back to Undying Winds. This is session number 17 entitled Directionless. At the end of last session, the group had left the town of Cald after being turned away at the gates at the late hour that they arrived at the gates. They made camp not too far away from the town, and as they took their watches late in the evening, a nightmare flew through the sky, a horse wreathed in flames instead of horse mane, came down with a rider atop it. Thinking that it was an aggressor, they engaged it. It turned out to be the very woman they sought in the Oltania Rus, Lady Oltan herself. With some skill, she disarmed Valette, turned Ren into a rat, took control of Rock, and basically engaged the others with defensive techniques. I believe it was Sam who started the conversation, seeing that this individual was not out for blood but more for dialogue. In that conversation, she tossed the battered black blade down onto the ground. When touched, it seemed to show the inside of the blade, battle between, or more or less, the torture of the king's soul. She said that they are welcome to come to her castle to recover his corpse, and I believe they declined. Some conversation of other directions have been mentioned, but one thing of note that is probably at the forefront of your minds is that you were not the only ones dispatched from the kingdom. Others are on their way to the Goltanya Rus as well. She left and went back to her castle, presumably, or onward and away. She doesn't look like she went south. Actually, it looks like she went north. For what purposes, you know not, but you presume in the same direction as the town of Cald, if not the town of Cald, the city of Crane's Rest, to the north of it. All right. I am basically just leaving the table to you, and let me know the directions that you want to go in. The icon on the map, I believe, should be manipulatable by all, but that's your current position, and it is the
Hey,
morning of the day.
let me say one thing, guys, before we begin. My notes said that that the Oltania Ruse had said in 6 days the Bloody Duchess will go to the Rastigar to meet with the young king.
Yes,
So am
that's
I?
exactly what I heard too.
Yeah. So you forgot to say that, which is very important because it means she's going to go talk to him and hopefully not kill him, is what I think. I think we should be there so if she attacks him, we can join in on the fight.
It's a
I
good
don't
memory.
think she will, but.
That's a good
But
memory.
anyways, yeah, I thought it was good because it is important for us to remember that. Now, I'm thinking I would like to go and get that Kengo guy from that one town.
The city of
Did
Kirk.
that weird, that city. But Brox isn't here. He'd be the person I'd have to convince. So we can go ahead and do something else. I just thought it'd be cool because we might actually get to do some sort of magic item shopping or something. We could trade our magic items for new magic items.
Well,
It's a thought.
yeah, again, I think I had mentioned before, but there are some errands that Sam would like to take care of. One of them, let me pull up my list of places to go that Sam has. Trying to remember, was Sinovia one of the places on the list, John? I'm pretty sure it was.
Sinovia was the key location, yeah. The one that you were thinking about.
Yeah. So, like, heading down south, basically, it's that town right there where I'm pinging.
So we decided last time not to go that way towards Altania.
Wait, could you ping that again? Oh, I see it now. Yeah.
We decided to go the westbound route rather than the eastbound route.
Yes.
What? Wait, are you talking about not going towards Altan? I mean, we can try cutting through the woods, or just saying, like, I do have things that need doing.
So I guess for me the question is, since what happened last time, is our trip to Altania really not worth it anymore? If that's the case, then I'd be fine with the detour. But if we still want to go there, maybe that would be more. What others think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be good to retrieve the body, but somebody else could do that also. So maybe,
I mean,
I think maybe it would be worth going to do something for Sam. I think, we should all take turns doing the things. And so I don't then know if Sam has had a chance to go where he wants to go. So I think it's maybe not a bad idea that we do that.
yeah, and plus, just because we go in that direction doesn't mean necessarily we have to stop in and stay at Old Han. We can just pass through.
Tim?
If it's, I forget what was remembered or not remembered last week as far as the customs of whether having the body's important or not. Vlet's stance was like, if it's important, we should recover the body.
Well, if I
And-
remember correctly, no, like we had Gilbert check, and we don't necessarily know how they deal with the dead bodies for the royal family, so we don't know whether or not it is or isn't important. Therefore,
I believe
if it is, they send someone for it.
I had mentioned to Kevin, and again, if this is information you don't recall, it's fine. But I think I remember saying it. If I didn't say it, I was supposed to. But there is no crypt for the Rastagar kings. There's no known burial site that you're aware of. There's no statues of any Rastagar kings. There's no memorials. They're remembered in stories. They're not remembered in stone.
Should we bring evidence of his death back? Is that going to be an issue?
I mean, we have
his
the sword.
sword will be evidence enough, and it will torment me the whole way there.
Yeah, I don't think we should. This is the problem with the sword thing. I don't know if we should show it to the king as proof, because we might need it to use for something to, dispel it, for lack of a better term, or to, get the demon out of it or whatever. I guess it would be, they call that the heads turning around, the little girl's
Okay.
head turning around.
Exorcism.
I would like
Exorcism.
to say, we can show it without necessarily giving it up to them, or necessarily showing it and explaining that there's something wrong with the sword that caused problems for your father, and we need to cleanse it before it can be. I feel like we can, without saying what necessarily it is, explain that maybe say it got cursed somehow.
I hear what you're saying, Sam, but as a lord myself, I know how people work.
This isn't
you
Sam
know-
saying it. This is Matt.
Oh, okay. This is Matt. Well, okay, this is the problem with that, though, Matt. If he asks for it and he wants it, then we're screwed. If we just don't show it to him, we know he doesn't get it. That's the point.
I mean,
don't show
I'd
it
like
to
to
him,
say-
he won't get it, we'll keep it.
I'd like to say, if he asks for it, it's his own damn fault.
Yeah, but then we need it, though. I think we're going to need it.
If we tell him the situation and he demands it, then it's his own damn fault. And if he screws himself over, well, too bad. Move on. So sad.
This is coming from a person who has
Well-
kids. You never tell you're going to give a kid something that you don't want to give them.
Real quick, just because I want
This
to
is coming from the guy who's in control of Sam.
just because I want to make sure that we're the out of character dialogue is kept to kind of reined in a bit, because I don't mind it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't mind it, but just to kind of set the scene, you guys are basically breaking your fast. There's probably a small campfire. Broxgar is probably the one cooking something quietly, keeping to himself, kind of focused on something that you're not sure about. Brack is also kind of just off on his own, but eating heartily. And then you four are kind of camped out around the food and whatnot, having a dialogue about what to do. It doesn't seem like Broxgar or Brack are engaging much in the dialogue of direction.
Well, how about we put it to a vote then, about the sword? I think it's important enough that I'd rather do what the majority wants to do. I'm saying don't tell them. That's my vote. What do the rest of you guys say?
I'm fine with
Sam?
telling him.
Sam wants to tell him, so we got the two other votes. Hopefully we
Oh, I
don't
didn't say
end in a
I want to
tie.
tell him. I'm saying I'm fine with telling him.
You're fine with telling them.
Well, why not wait? Why doesn't our starting position be not to say anything, but just trying to convince them what happened? And if we need to, we could bring it out as evidence.
I like that. That's a good,
Whatever.
A good
The
way to
sword
go
is
there.
rather large. Where will we be storing it to bring out if asked about, without him visibly seeing it on my back?
Well, we'll just wrap it up in something. you know.
It's still a large sword. He will notice it.
On
The
his
sword-
back.
The sword's blade is about 3.75 feet long. The hilt of the weapon extends the total length of the blade somewhere to about a height of 5'3", 5'5". So when it was given to you, it was thrown out onto the ground. If you aren't familiar with the look of the blade, basically the center column of the blade, the fuller, looks like it's set to receive 12 stones, but it looks like that portion of the blade has been mangled a bit, as has the opposite side, where the stones you presume that were taken by Ashmedea would have been placed into the weapon. And so those have been, that position of the blade, the fuller, has been kind of mangled a bit, metal-wise. Looks like someone's taken something to it. And yeah, a very ornate elven sword guard, bejeweled and kind of covered with kind of gold and jeweler's brass. Very nice, very ornate, but again, the blade looks like it's taken quite a bit of a beating.
So, speaking on John saying, and I was wondering if we knew in character or out of character, so that setting the received dragon stones, the only way that this is purified is if we follow the dragon to where it went and recover the stones it took.
Right. Good luck with that.
Broxgar says,
We may.
nope.
I mean,
Oh, I
we might have to
agree.
do
It seems a bit
eventually.
above anything that we can handle right now, or may ever be able to.
True.
John, is the black sword grandmother?
No.
Okay.
All right.
The
well,
black blade
this
is the black blade. It wasn't one of the options on the Esperedge list. There are 13 total Esperedges that you are aware of. The black blade, there was history done on Grandmother, the Great Red One, the Sword, Butcher's Bride, and there's a fifth one, which I'm not recalling right off the top.
Wind and Wave?
That's right,
Wind and Wave. Yeah.
Of course, it's Chad's one. I can't remember.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
Chad burn.
is that Zach?
Yeah, that's Zach.
Yeah, just pop in when you can, man. You've basically been sullen and just thinking about, like, your quest here was to fight her, and it's not even something you need to do anymore. But anyways, back to you, crew. So you know about those 5 that you don't have, and then you know about the 6 that you do have, or that you have, and the 7 that you have and have seen. 1 is missing from the collection that you've been able to gather, so you currently have 6. Where the dream shard went, you do not know.
Right.
Other than some
Well,
sort of
we
shadowy
could-
creature stole it.
If we grabbed a scabbard, we could store the big sword in a bag of holding, which I was hoping to buy at a not buy, but trade for a magic item. So that's maybe a reason to go shopping.
Right.
So,
It's
another
too bad none of us have a bag of holding.
if we
That's what
want,
I'm saying. We could trade something for a bag of holding. We do have magic items that we're not using at the moment, burning a hole in our pockets. We almost gave them to Dragon.
so
Oh.
another reason, if Sam has business in Sinovia, if we continue on the path we have chosen and swing by Altania, we can recover the king's body to serve as proof. Then we can find a way to not have the sword in the chamber and just bring the body as proof of his death, letting him know that the Bloody Duchess did everything she could to save him and ultimately failed. If we so believe her. Then,
I don't believe
from
in that part, but
Altania-
we could tell them that.
from Altania, we can then head to Sinovia. Sam can conduct his business, and then we can be on our way back to Rastegar to inform the new king of what has transpired.
John, just as a question, where are the other places that... I'm going to pull up my notes really quickly. Where did that go? Oh, there it is.
Starport.
Right. I mean, like, where are they on the map? Because not all of the little towns are. Okay, Starport's over there.
Yeah, and then what was the other one?
Give me 1 second to open my notes.
There were a total of 3. I know the location. I just forget what it was called off the top of my head, and I'm being lazy.
Yeah, no, that's fine. As I said, it's in my notes. I just need to. Once my thing unfreezes so I can scroll down. Killian.
Far east.
Okay, so not making it over that way anytime soon. Cool. Yeah, so let's go to Altania and then Sinovia.
Fine.
Where was Killian, by the way? Can you ping it?
Yeah, it's all the way. It's the furthest to the right. No. Outside the Old Town
Oh.
Yarus. All the way out
Oh.
this way.
Okay. All right. I wasn't expecting that. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
And then Starport is on the other peninsula across the Bay of the Bear.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I think I like Valette's suggestion to ride down, continue down to Altania, pick up the body, and then swing over and hit this. What is it called again? Sinovia. What do
Yeah.
you think?
Yep.
All right. Good plan.
Also, John, as another side note, for Sinovia, for Starport and for Killian, I had Thomas the White and Lem. Sinovia, if I remember correctly, it wasn't necessarily a particular person that was our contact there. It was just kind of...
The contact had been replaced, and no new message has been updated to inform the idealist who that contact was.
Gotcha. So, contact unknown. Cool. Just wanted to make sure I actually had everything straight.
Any other beats you guys remember, or anything that you want to think about before starting your travel?
Guys, I think we should think about things more. We might be missing something crucial.
I'm just stalling, actually.
No. I know that
I mean,
there's the lake. There's the lake in the middle where we might get an unexpected.
Well,
True,
yeah,
but
I
that-
also have notes about what happens there. In one of my notes that I have that somewhere, I hope, unless it got deleted by accident. We can start moving somewhere while I'm looking this stuff up.
No,
Sounds
zero rush. Keep talking.
Oh, zero rush. All right.
So, another thing, I guess, while we're kind of like discussing things that have occurred, though, Vlet brings up the point about the Kengo guy and say, do we really intend to help someone like him?
Fuck him.
Yeah, Ren says, screw that guy.
I think that right now we were given time because he was, as he put, patient, and the Kengo in Rastakar City might already be dealt with by Hadrian. I
If we're
figure
lucky.
leave him hanging, and we'll deal with it when we have to.
There'll be another Kango who wants to kill me then. I'm just telling you guys this.
Because you didn't
That's
know enough
fine.
on your part of the bargain.
I think, yeah, I wouldn't have held up my part of the bargain. If Broxcar had been here, I feel I could have convinced him to go do it, but he's not here,
technically
so we'll
but
just
don't
go.
role play with him. Like, yeah.
Right, I would have tried to convince him to go, but I think if he's here, I might have been able to do that. But let's just say we don't go. Let's just blow him
He
off.
was strong arming us. We'll do it when we need to. John, what do we
Alright.
know about the next city down the road?
Nothing. You didn't ask
Nothing.
any
We know
questions.
nothing at all.
Because you hadn't been called and you didn't ask any questions about it in Kurik.
It's a village. I think we know that
Okey-doke.
about it.
It's small.
When we get there, we'll have to make sure to ask about the village other down the road on our way to Altania.
That's the way to do it. So
I think
can we
that's
move
crazy.
forward?
If down the road is your path, yeah, there was some discussion there just for a second about moving into the forest. But again,
Nope. I think we decided to go down to Oltania, then over to Sinovia, and then we'll see what happens.
no fun. All right.
Let's take a sky ship after that.
Okay. So, somebody, representative, roll me a d20.
2.
A big 2.
The sky is blue, and all the leaves on the forest trees are green. The sun is warm like a baked potato. Um, I think you know exactly what I mean when I say
Oh
it's a
yeah.
shabadoinkle day.
Also,
Um,
I want to say I would like to use Druidcraft to tell what the weather will be like in the next 24 hours.
yeah, nice and bright and shiny, but you also notice that there are very distinct markers along the road, very similar in kind to the markers that were on the road outside of Rostagar City between there and Beggar's Hole. However, these ones are distinctly significant to you, Matt, due to your history. As you're referencing these materials, you start to notice that they're denoting warding. Warding against the road that you're heading towards. Like, moving down this path is bad. And there's also seems to be markers that are kind of designating forest paths and safe sanctuary at the gates of the or of the Serpent's Trench.
You know, let's call it Wizard's intuition, but I say we go this way, pointing towards one of those paths.
Is that the path into the forest?
Correct. It seems like the druid markings seem to be denoting you go to the forest. But of course, that's what druids would want, anyways, right?
Right.
Would
of
I
course
see
they're
any
gonna
other
warn us.
kinds of marks? Like any
No.
thieves' cants type stuff?
No, no.
Okay.
These cans out in the middle of the wood. Why?
Brigand
You
stuff.
never know. You
Highway.
never know.
It makes sense, but it's not out here. But yeah, as you guys are making your way down the road, heading to it, you see those signs. Another sign that you see appears to be a wooden sign with old markings kind of denoting pathways. There appears to be a path that, or an arrow pointer that leads north, but the marking on it's faded, and the only thing you can kind of make out is the last 3 letters of it being TON, kind of pointing towards the north. Then there's an arrow kind of pointing in the
That's
direction,
heavy, Doc.
pointing in the direction that you're heading, and the same thing is true, but you can only make out like the last 2 letters, and it's ON. And then there's a marker pointing back the way you came, and you can see faintly, but more succinctly, the name called. On that, but there are only 3 markers on it. It would seem that as you're kind of looking around, Sam, being of your older tradition, it looks like a road was present, but the grasslands have taken it over. A path or a road that led northwards.
Interesting.
So you've moved about 10 miles, 15 miles at this point. Yeah, do you want to continue on to the town that's down the road, or do you want to change your path?
I thought we decided we are going to go into the woods. Is that right?
Yeah, I thought that's what we had decided to go towards.
We can't take the bike into the woods.
I
He's
mean,
told
we
us that
can. It'll
before.
just be slower going.
We could try, but we'll get it stuck, is what it's
Well-
implied.
Yeah, as I said, it would be slower going, wouldn't it?
Correct.
Yes, so we
If
can
you guys
do
really
it.
want to do it, we could try it if you really want to. I don't know.
Well,
I think
I'm
it's
sorry, but
like-
signs that say "danger ahead, turn this way for safety" seem like a good idea.
Portage. Just
we
have
would be heading in-
pick up the bike.
That is the castle, or the abode of a vampire that we'd be heading into, and so of course they're going to have warnings, and it could be that we go there and we're screwed. But if we want to go there to retrieve the king's body, or we could just skip it. I don't know. I was just saying, of course they're going to be warnings on this. She's a powerful vampire.
One thing we never quite asked about is why she is referred to I guess it's obvious that she's a vampire and that's why she's called the Bloody Duchess, but why there's a negative idea of her when she seems noble enough in conversation.
She's a
Maybe
vampire.
Because she's acting that way.
She's a
That's what
fucking
vampires
vampire.
do.
right.
Yes, she says nice things, but if we're in her domain, she might just attack us or kill us or whatever. If
But
I don't know if
she
wants
was the
to do
one that
though.
said we could come collect the body if we so chose, correct?
She did say that. I'm wondering if it's a trap though. It's kind of an Akbarian thing to think, but it could be. That's old gnome talk. Don't worry about that.
Got it.
So, all right, guys.
If Sam
We wanna head
trusts
in
in
the
these
woods,
markings
fine.
and aren't worried that that itself is a double bluff and it is a trap itself, then let us go to the forest and make our way to
Alright, that's
Altania
fine.
through it.
You may have to help the bike get through there.
Okay.
We both have horses, or an elk and a horse.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. If you guys are moving towards the forest area onto the grasslands, your speed is obviously slowed because of the bike. But Brack, you can make me, if you are available to do so, make me a strength athletics check to see if you can muster through some grasslands on your bicycle.
Strength check.
Wait, roll one for him, Villette. Oh, he did it. Sweet.
He rolled a 16 for those at home. That's good enough. So you guys are able to kind of move. He starts to kind of get a bit more confidence in his bike riding, and you head about. As you're searching for the entryway, this pathway that's been notated by Druid sign. Sam, go ahead and give me either a nature check or a survival check. Intelligence, nature, or wisdom, survival.
Do I assist him?
Not
I'm
at all.
trained
Sorry.
in survival.
You're
You're
not.
cutting in and out. Was that for me?
That was for you, Sam. Yeah. Intelligence,
Okay,
nature,
so-
or wisdom, survival, and no to the helping because it is druid
All right.
related.
Oh, you killed it.
What'd you get?
21 for those at home.
Okay.
Right.
Very quickly, you're able to find signs that kind of denote to a rest stop, effectively, for druid wanderers and pilgrims that are heading into the forest. What very, very early on into the forest entering that kind of causes you and your group to be a little bit more cautious and wary is you find out why the Misty Woods gets its name. It's very foggy, even as the day has grown to a later portion of the day. And as you're searching about, you end up finding what appears to be a very old building made out of stone, some 50 feet wide and circular, that seems to stand inside of a grove of trees very early into the forest entry. And it looks like some of the stones from higher up kind of lay about the outside of the perimeter of this tower. And the door appears to be just kind of haphazardly left ajar. There doesn't appear to be any signs of life other than a very faint light inside of a open window at a high point of the tower. And all your druid signs are saying this is a place of safety, safe haven.
Okay, so I'm having connection problems, so I only caught about like half of that.
Did everybody else hear
It's
me
on
though?
my
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's on my end that I'm having problems. This is my end because I'm having like Kevin and everyone's cutting out every once in a while. I'm trying to resolve it.
Okay. Well, for everybody else, you can feel free to interact. But Matt, if you, it is safe haven.
I caught that part.
Okay, cool.
Unpopulated.
It appears that there is a
Maybe-
single light at the high point of the tower.
Right. Maybe there's somebody in the tower. We should probably address them. I think it would be best if Sam did. He is a druid. He's druidish. So,
Funny.
He went to night school to
He
learn a
doesn't look
language.
druidish.
Right.
yeah.
He had a nose job.
Oh my god, Spaceballs. Yay.
Yep. Spaceballs is the best movie.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
I mean, Sam can.
Just yell up at the light. Say, "Hey, is anybody up there?" Something like that.
Sam sent Stacy up. Can
Okay.
can do all or this?
So you send your familiar up. Are you warging into the familiar, or are you just sending it up?
I'm gonna work into it, yeah, just to sort of see
Okay.
what's around.
So try and follow along. As the familiar enters in, the very first floor appears to be covered with desks all of different styles, haphazardly pushed to the outside of the tower. And there's a single staircase that goes up. The interior of the tower is hollow, with balcony levels at higher points inside of the tower. And then it appears that the rooftop, that higher level room that might have a light in it, is got a wooden floor directly above you, some 40 or so feet above, with a couple of balconies in between. All about on the desks are all different manners of things. On one desk, you'd see what appear to be squirrel bones, a squirrel's like tail fur, kind of pressed out, and it looks like a smattering of things kind of laying inside of the squirrel's pelt. Also there. On another table, it looks like a bunch of different herbs and flowers and such that have been picked from different places, you presume, within the forest. Another desk has just a bunch of papers stacked up high upon it, with a what appears to be a wolf skull set atop them as like a paperweight. And then there's another table that has just a bunch of glass oddities, strange glass jars, alembics, retorts, different types of decanters, all kind of placed, and most of them with a weird, different colored liquid in each, kind of bubbling and creating kind of a strange ambiance in the this lower chamber. The familiar goes up the stairs, I presume. And once it kind of gets up to the top of the stairs, it doesn't seem to be anything barring you from entering into the chamber above. But just as you're about to go in and peek up above, you hear a voice from inside go, "Henry? Is that you, Henry? You come back here? What? I told you to stay out, Henry. What are you doing back? Head on home. Go back to your brothers." Do you go up to look?
Yeah, sure, why not?
You see a very old woman. Looks like she has wrinkles abound, just thousands and thousands of wrinkles about her very old, pale face. Her hair is kind of
Does
like
she look like a hag?
kinda but she doesn't look like she doesn't look like, she looks human, but I guess in she doesn't look like an actual creature I hag. I guess is a nice way
She's
of
just an
saying
old
it.
hag.
Oh, that's horrible. Don't be mean. She's a very old woman, and she appears to be kind of wearing just like loose, robes, and there's a bunch of charms on her person, which you denote as druidic charms. Yeah, she appears to be reading something at her desk, and then she kind of looks over at you, and she goes, "Ah, you're not Henry. What are you doing here, little fellow?" And then she kind of looks at you. Oh, I see. Well, come in already. You don't have to scout ahead. No worries. It's more than welcoming here. I'll meet you down there.
Okay. I've been communicating most of what's been going on to the group. So. But yeah,
Sounds
sure,
friendly.
we can.
Okay. Do you go inside?
Yeah, let's do it, guys.
Absolutely expecting
Sure.
an old woman to start kind of tumbling down the stairs based on her movements. Instead, as you start to move into the chamber, you see what appears to be a very large, at least for a dove fly down from the high point and kind of move into the center of the room, kind of land and start looking around like very, birdish. And then there's an old woman where the bird was, kind of standing there in the center of the room. "Oh, guests, huh? You aren't friends of Henry, are you?"
No.
Nah. She kind of walks over towards Sam. "You seem familiar." And she's not very tall, maybe 4'5", kind of walks over to you and kind of reaches up her hand to touch your face. Do you allow her to do so?
No.
If you kind of back away, she goes, "Oh, sorry. I thought I recognized something about you. Something familiar. Something... something I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, that's lovely, Yoda. You saw the signs out there saying that like danger on the road or something.
Ah! Yes. Uh, yes, of course. The Dark Wolf resides in the lands beyond, between Aston and Arcton. You best be wary, unless the Black Wolf is what you desire, to enter into your life and end it.
Right. Sardic, right?
Yes, that is his name.
Yeah.
He serves the bloody Duchess. I tell you he does. Or perhaps she serves him, I know not. But many a warden have fallen in their defenses of the towns within the forest. You're lucky to have found me here. Well, from the sounds of it, skilled in finding me here. Which is better, I suppose. Luck is, well, unreliable at best. So are you heading through the Serpent's Trench? Or are you going to walk it?
Is that further into the woods?
Eh?
The Serpent's Trench?
Well, you're going into the woods, right? Why would you come to this gatehouse if you weren't?
I was
Oh.
just asking a question.
Foolish little blue one. He must be a chore to deal with, I suppose.
Sam is saying nothing right now, but looks like he wants to say everything.
If you're going to go through the trench, I could take you down to it. But if you're going to walk it, well then, be wary. There are sightings of the wolf's minions in the forest. And if you mean to make your way to the Smoking Mere, beware the white trees. Beware the white trees. Beware the forgotten city that rises in the mist. Beware. Beware. Also of Henry. Be wary of Henry.
Nah.
If you aren't friends with Henry, then you probably shouldn't consort with him. He's quite a foul little beast, really. That Henry.
Yeah, good to know. Avoid Henry.
You may be tempted to stroke him. You may be tempted to play with him and his ears. But I tell you, he's a devil. His meowing
Did Henry
is
bite you when you
incessant.
tried playing with his ears before?
I know not of what you speak. She turns around abruptly and starts walking over to a table.
I just sort of lean over to Ren. I'm just sort of like, is she talking about like an animal or an X? I'm not sure.
Good question. Tell us more about this trench.
The Serpent's Trench, you've never heard of it? The two rogues.
Well, for the benefit of my blues friend,
The two
my blue friend.
rogues in the group, I need you to make a just an intelligence history check.
The two rogues?
Quote unquote rogues, the two gangsters.
Intelligence
19,
history.
19,
Yeah.
27.
27. Oh, killed it.
Well, Ren,
Nice,
it
guys.
sounds strangely familiar, but it's like old talk, and it's something you think you remember Shadow talking about. Sam, you recall what it is. There is an underwater waterway, or underground waterway. There's an underground waterway that actually divots off of some of the rivers that come down from Stormloft out to the ocean, the Madramic Ocean to the south. And there are a number of different pathways of this Serpent's Trench that kind of wind into different places. According to what she's saying, and according to what you think you might recall, there happens to be such a trench that divots off of the river. Sorry, I know this. Hold on.
The Euphrates?
No, it's not the Euphrates.
Tigris.
No. The Purple River is what it is.
The Nile.
The Purple River, which is to the north. And apparently she says that the trench must wind off of that and into the land underneath the forest in a path towards the Smoking Mirror.
Oh, the Forgotten Land. Let's do that one. That sounds like fun.
The Forgotten City? What? But no. If you wish to stay here for a time, I suppose it's fine. It's not too late in the day, but you can if you want to. Just don't. Don't you go letting Henry in.
Do you know
Wait.
Tom Bombadil?
I've never heard of him.
I'm going to ask a what might be a strange question, but what is Henry? Besides evil and something you don't stroke the ears of, like animal,
Rabbit?
like what type of animal?
She kind of like places both of her hands on a table and kind of looks down at the table, and she looks like she's in complete sorrow mode. He's the most adorable cat. He's got a little bobbed tail. He's grey. He's got such round features, and well, all he does is mew for food, begging and crying. No matter how much I love him, he doesn't want anything from me besides food. Oh.
I'm sure Henry's just going through a rebellious stage.
Oh, Henry.
At heart, he truly loves you.
Henry.
You ain't never met a cat, brother.
She kind of turns and looks at Brock, kind of like tears kind of running down her cheek. You know of the cats of the woods, then. You're the only one who truly understands their nature. Oh, I love him so, but it is not meant to be. He should hunt for his own food. He should not beg for it. No one should beg. Everyone should earn what's theirs. Thank you. Thank you. What were we talking about?
We were talking about food.
Oh, you.
And the surrounding area and points of interest, and what we should, and
Oh,
about the surrounding area and points of interest.
I mentioned what you should pay attention to be wary of. Henry. Meowing, I can hear him every so often.
And the white trees, and the black wolves, and
The Forgotten City in the Mists. Yes.
Right.
and what about the Bloody Duchess's domain? About the city of Altania.
It is far away. Should be no worry to you. But it is a dangerous place. Is that Henry? What?
I
What? What was that? You all kind of look around, and outside, just near the door, you see this gray cat kind of looking there. Gray stripy pattern, kind of white tuft on the chest, kind of looking inside. Kind of looking inside. It's him, isn't it? It is him, isn't it?
Would you like me to tell him that you've chosen for him to hunt for his own food and that he should leave at once?
He won't understand. It's just a cat. I've done it before. Oh, he haunts me. Shut the door. You look to the door. There's no door, like that'll shut. Like the door that's in there is kind of like warped and kind of settled. It's been left ajar for so long, it probably won't set to close.
Vlette tries to force it shut.
Make a strength athletics check.
also while she's doing that, like, does Sam actually know the crazy lady at all?
She seems familiar to you, but you don't know why.
Okay, good to know.
That's a 28.
What are you doing? No! And you shut the door closed. The second you do, you see this strange device up above it. It appears to be a like a pie chart shape, spin and settle on a different color than what it initiated starting and settling on. The door like magically warps back into perfect condition. And she goes, "Oh no! What have you done?
You told me to shut the door.
I didn't.
I thought I was helping.
I didn't mean it. And you kind of all look around, like, confused. And you also see that the cat has somehow made its way in and is now kind of sitting on one of the tables, kind of looking at you all, but it's out of her line of sight. And she kind of goes, oh, what have you done?
What has he done?
She.
It's a gate door. You've torn us away from the world.
Are we in a different dimension?
Wait, Sam sticks his head out the door right now.
It's,
What does he
it's,
see?
it's shut. Do you open it?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I do.
Make a strength athletics check.
You open it up, and just wind starts blasting you. There's sand everywhere, and it's just yellow for like all you can see. Off in the distance, like well off in the distance, some like way distance, you see a pyramid in the
Oh
sand.
no. Where are we?
Completely jet black with a red shining top.
Oh boy,
Does that
that
look
sounds
familiar?
really scary.
It doesn't sound familiar. The pyramid
Okay.
you went into was yellow with a green top.
Oh my gosh.
But this is another demon seal, most likely.
Perhaps.
Could be.
What is this place? We ask
Shut
her.
it quick! Shut it quick! It's Aincon! We shouldn't be here! Humbaba's forces will see us! Close the door! Close the door!
What was the name you just said?
Yeah, I
Umaba.
closed it.
Close it!
No, before that.
Okay, I'd like to say I'm closing the door.
The second the door shuts, you see the circle spin and land on another color. It appears that the color it might have started on, if you're not sure, if you can pay attention, might have been green. And then it shifted to like a yellow color, and now it's shifted to black. It'll be a year and a day before we can make it back to our position. Unless we're able to do something about this. You hear, meow, meow. She looks over. Oh, not now! Busy with matters that are important, Henry. She walks over and starts scrimshing him on the chin. And he looks up at her. Meow. And then pet, pet, pet. And she's like, I can't say no to you. She reaches into her pocket and pulls out some food and starts like handing it to his face, and he's like, I love you so much, Henry. I love you.
Okay.
What?
Okay. First of all, where the fuck are we now?
You can open the door at your own pleasure, but we have returned where the tower came from. And it'll be a year and a day before we're allowed to go back. Unless...
What do you mean it will be a year and a day before we're allowed to go back?
Don't you know how summoning works?
You gotta
No.
be fucking kidding me.
If something is summoned to the material plane and is banished into a different plane of existence, it cannot return to the material plane for a year and a day. But there are bypasses. We can find a way back. She kind of walks over to the papers, pulls the wolf skull off, and kind of throws it. It kind of hits the ground, pieces of it kind of breaking apart. The cat immediately, like finishing its food, kind of looks at it and jumps down and kind of starts like looking at it, going, knocking it, kind of causing it to on the wood floor. She starts scrolling through the papers, kind of focusing in it. I don't know much about Arcana.
Is there a couch or a chair in this room?
There are no chairs.
Rena's gonna
you
sit
don't-
on the floor, cross-legged.
You don't know much. Move out of the way. Let me take a look. I'm looking at. I'm trying to look at the book that.
Okay.
Look, I'm a wizard. All right.
She backs away from you and lets you have the desk. Everyone else, as that happens, you notice her kind of lean in behind Sam and go like that. Sam, you hear, and kind of turn back and look at her, and she's like,
She's taking a whiff of you.
kind of sniffing
She's
at the
loving
back
it.
of your
Alright.
head.
You stand over there,
Oh,
please. I can't work with you sniffing at my head.
I knew it. She kind of walks away, and she looks at you. And then in some kind of strange language, she says something. And then, Sam, you understand that she just spoke in a druidic tongue, a twist of Elvish to Common kind of between. And she said, "You're of the forest, boy, I know it." And she walks away.
What a creepy old lady.
She goes back to Henry, who is looking at the wolf skull on the floor, kind of batting at it.
All right, I look at the book. Don't know how long that takes.
It's
People
actually
can do
just
things while we're waiting.
it's a bunch of stacks of papers, and as you're kind of looking over them, you start to realize a lot of the symbols you're looking at are familiar to you. Make an intelligence arcana to see how intimately familiar you are with them.
21.
A lot of these circles are very similar to the circles you saw in the library, or not in the library, but in the office, inside the stairwell, inside of the ziggurat, inside of the pyramid. You remember how you studied the papers and found out
Right.
a lot of the markings on the gate inside of that pyramid?
Yes, I believe I have that somewhere.
She says, it's mostly referring to that. And she points to the floor. You kind of look at the cat. And there's a cat on the floor and a bunch of dust. There's also a bunch of like leaves from probably an autumn ago, since it's spring now. All very old and desiccated. Yeah, the floor's very dirty. She says, "You see it, right?"
The cat
No.
or the skull?
The glyph.
Is there a glyph there?
Are you just looking at it with normal eyes?
I mean, currently the only thing that I've got that's not normalized, I think, is see invisibility, because true seeing is a 6th level spell.
Yeah, she says, "There's a glyph there on the floor. If you don't see it, then maybe you're not the magic user you thought you were."
I mean, I can try see invisibility, but again, it's like,
No.
yeah, that's all I've got.
Did your druid masters not teach you how to see the sight? See the world? See the winds?
Okay, Pocahontas.
I'll. Not that this will probably do anything, but with her talking about seeing things, Valette will just try using Divine Sense to see if that picks anything.
No.
Alright.
Other than the door which is currently closed and set on the black symbol, it radiates.
But the skull is not radiating.
No. Nor is the floor. But the door is. Oh, and it's radiating evil, like undead.
I don't think we want to open that door.
There's this moment where like, I wonder if this will do it, and then you kind of see this kind of black burning in the edge of your sight. You kind of lift up, and it shows the camera from like behind you as you're lifting up. The door is just solid black, and you're looking at it like.
There's a strong aura of undead evil coming.
Of course, that's Naonog. You don't want to go outside. We formed from those. We formed from the world that is, and that was, and that always will be, and forever shall not be. The undreaming. Don't you know anything about druidic lore?
Apologies, no, I'm not.
Hey,
And then,
Sam.
in kind of druidic tongue, she says something to Sam, and Sam, you understand her saying, "You know about it, right?"
Do I know anything about it?
No, because you are an ex-druid. You never became a full-on, like, yeah, you know a lot of the ins and outs, the tricks and the baseline stuff, but they didn't get to the deeper mysteries.
I got a solution, Sam, but it's going to take a day. Can you hear
What's
me?
your solution, Gilbert?
Well, I can cast a spell, but only on myself. That's another problem. I can't cast it on you. And it would allow me to see dark vision, invisible creatures, and objects, as well as into the ethereal plane. So it's a 5th level spell, and I just learned it not too long ago. So I don't have it prepared.
Walks past Sam and starts rifling through the papers, pulls out what appears to be a scroll and sets it out. "Use that if you can!" And then walks away. You look at the scroll and very quickly detect that it is a scroll of detect magic.
Oh, fine. I just take 10 minutes and cast Detect Magic, because I didn't realize that that's what she was talking about.
When you do, you see that underneath all the dirt and the ruin, there is a glyph. A magical sigil kind of ingrained or like etched into the ground underneath all of the dirt, and it glows in this light, and it looks very familiar, like the one that was in the pyramid.
Right.
Is this a teleportation circle?
It counts as a teleportation circle. You can go ahead and
I
notate
might know
this
that
as
too then,
a
because I could cast a spell.
yeah. If you have a teleportation circle, and this is now a circle that you know.
Oh, interesting. This is an interesting place. So, do you think we could teleport from this circle out to another
Okay,
circle
so
we know?
wait a second. Does this one relate to the gnome's head? 'Cause-
You're kind of thinking about it. Make an intelligence arcana check to see if you can figure out what the combination would have been.
Well, I've got in my notes, according to the notes, just the gnome head leads to an old tower that doesn't seem important at all. I'm just thinking this seems to fit that.
Gain inspiration, boom, and also
Nice.
good note taking. Congratulations, no check needed. Yes, just the gnome head and the two braziers inside of the ziggurat would have led you to this place.
Right.
Could we use this to get back to the ziggurat? Not that we would necessarily want to go there.
What?
Maybe.
What are you talking about, ziggurat? What?
It's like our version of Henry.
Oh. She's petting Henry. She's apparently dropped into the lotus position on the floor and has him in her lap, and you can hear as she's petting him.
So,
Ren, Brak,
Yeah.
do you have any ideas or suggestions as what we should do?
Oh,
I don't think I'm qualified to have much input right now.
You felt like you were on the edge, like, oh no.
strike 3, Tim. Strike 3.
Prince also. Why is everyone we talk to a demon prince? No, it's not
Yeah.
that. A scout's on her.
Were you an actual scout, John?
No, I also
No.
cross my fingers when I raise my hand up. What does Brack have to
guys.
say? Yeah, you're muted. Dang it.
Is Zach trying to talk? Because I can't hear him.
Yeah, he had mic issues on Tuesday too.
No.
Dang it.
yeah. Actually, guys, teleportation circle is a domain spell for me, so I could actually cast it. I haven't prepared.
Zach,
Forgot.
How about now?
Yep, yeah, you had
Yep.
yourself
Yep.
on you weren't here. Yeah, that's weird. Okay.
I got it.
What does Brack have to say?
Vrak is not a smart man, nor is he a man who had ever left that forest before he was kidnapped by the conglomerate. So the concept of a new plane has basically like put him into a waking coma. And I just
He
imagine
broke
he's like,
Frack.
yeah, he's like literally since the moment you said like that was a plane door, and he was like, I have heard of this once before, like
Well-
when I was a kid, and I don't understand, and I don't know what to do.
More specifically, the freak out would have probably came when Valette closed the door reshaped. They opened the door again, and instead of there being a forest out there, a desert.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm fucked. Like there's no. I hit things hard. That's what I do, guys. There's nothing to hit in this problem, so you're gonna have to find someone else to say something.
Fair. I just wanted to make sure if you had anything.
Yeah,
you
no,
could add
I've been paying attention, but y'all broke Vrak.
So, Sam, with your Arcana checks being as good as they have been, I will let you know that you think that with some work and possibly some finagling, you may be able to redraw the glyphs and change their markings. And then the others?
I would let Sam know that since I do have the ability to cast that spell, I could assist him with any redrawing of glyphs or anything that he needs to do.
Normally, you'd need to be trained in Arcana to assist in that, but since you have the spell, I'll allow it.
That's a travel domain, people.
Yep. It's good. It's good.
It's good stuff.
Indeed. It looks like he is currently away, so the others feel free to interject and roleplay.
Yeah, sorry, Sam had to pee.
He just opens the gate to the negative energy outside and just alright, let's rock. Let's
Desert.
Yeah, no, I will try to make alterations, and I suppose Gilbert can assist.
Okay. So if the two of you work together, you know, just basically spend a bit of time cleaning up the floor with assistance from the others, getting the glyph uncovered, and then going to work in basically chiseling out parts of it and changing it. Now, knowing what you know about that, you do have some designations and you do have some notations. You still have those notes regarding where you thought what would go where, right?
Yes, I do.
Great. Where would you like to go?
Talk amongst yourselves. I will look over this for a few minutes.
All right.
That kind of stands off in the corner and waiting, not trying to touch anything.
I just love that again. You try to help.
I know, it's so beautiful. Be right back.
Just need to learn. Philette should not help.
Not do anything. So if we get the sense that if we tried to push the door again, we would just be transported to another plane and still be in the same problem.
No, we're stuck here. If you want to go outside, you can. I wouldn't recommend it.
Well, the last time we pushed the door, we switched planes.
It won't happen again.
Why not?
Because there's only 3 markers, and we've spun it as far as it can go.
Okay. Do you have any food?
She gestures to the table with the squirrel parts.
Not really. No. I normally hunt at night to feed myself. Not much reason to keep stores of food. It's wasteful. But I suppose you can have those parts. I'm not using them for what I'd planned anyway. You can't have Henry, though. Meow.
Nuzzle into her lap.
Okay, John. Out of
Yeah.
question, do
Shoot.
I know where either Asur Vale? Is that how it's pronounced? Ausirvale.
In Jernaris. In the province of Jernaris.
Right. Like, how far... I'm sorry, I don't know where your
No, it's fine.
provinces are.
That's a good question.
How far is that from, like, us? Because it's either Asur Vale, there's one that leads just north of Stormloft, and then the other one is the Cloaked Wood. Those are the 3 that I've got that seem like the best ones, 'cause unless we want to go, like, to the northernmost part of the continent. Or
Nope.
stay here.
Let's go on to the world map.
World map.
Woohoo!
Oh, Einkarn. That.
Rashagar City and the bay they're in, right about there. And then you have
Jernaris.
Jernaris all the way
Way
to the
too
left.
far away.
Yeah, it's way
Okay.
better to go to
We're gonna wanna
Stormloft
go
than
here.
Jernaris.
Yeah, and the Vale is here. It's kind of in the center of this low-lying land between two rivers. But if you
Okay, yeah, so
if you use your ruler
Stormloft-
mapper, if you use your ruler map marker, it should tell you in miles how far a distance that is.
Right. Yeah, Rosgard to Stormloft seems like the most sensible one. So yeah, that seems to be the closest that we can go. Is like 1,000 miles away, guys.
Oh boy. This is not a
Also, I'd like
detour.
to point out that it's somewhere near the city of Stormloft to the north. Near might be like an added 50 miles. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to aim for that one. That
Hey,
was a
Gilbert.
combination of the gnome and the man.
Would also like to add that most likely the bike and both horses are outside of the tower.
Yeah.
My elk.
Hey, Gilbert.
Some wolf's elk now.
The Kango are going to be so pissed at you, Gilbert.
They'll never get me in Stormloft.
I think it might take more than 2 days to get back.
Moves entire family of fucking gnomes from Stormloft to
Terrascar.
teleports himself to
You guys
fucking
go and do this. It's like going back home.
Well, once
Again, I just love the perfect thing that it's Follette who closed the door.
Nice job, Tim.
So it's just perfect.
yeah,
This is-
I know.
I don't think you were supposed to open that door, but you rolled, what, a 27 or
It
something?
was a 28.
28.
You rolled a
So
28.
I rolled enough strength.
Now, keeping that in mind, you know the glyphs for the ones that you have, and those are included in the stack of papers. But there do appear to be a dozen or so more that are listed on there. However, descriptions of them are very pointed, and it's only the name of the location, not descriptive like the ones that you had from before. So if you'd like to
Right.
look at those, I can tell you what those are as well. 1 second.
Yeah, sure. Let's take a look through those.
Just in case you want to roll some dice.
Just in case we want to
got
go
a question.
somewhere ridiculous.
I got a crazy question for you,
Shoot.
DM, because I know you said that when I learned the teleportation spell, I knew there was a circle in Stormloft.
Mhm.
Did you say there's a circle that's in my basement of the house?
That's
Why
how
don't we
it is.
just go there?
Because
You don't know it, but I do. You can
If you
assist
can go,
me.
if you can go to Stormloft, if you can get to Stormloft, yeah,
Right.
that'd be fine. But
No, but could I go to my basement?
no. So the circles
Oh.
that you're looking at here, they are
Yeah.
technically teleportation circles, but they're keyed. They are linked to one another. It's like a closed network.
Oh.
So if you can get to, like for example,
Stormloft.
if you were to take the one that takes you near Stormloft and then move to your the Barbagezi Principality's castle and then teleport from that circle to your house, great. It's a lot shorter trip than
We could do that, guys.
absolutely. Okay, so you ready for the other names?
yeah, sure.
Okay,
Uh,
so here we go. Malorel's Lair, the Foundry, the town of Falcon Rest, the graveyard at Whitehaven,
Oh, yeah, definitely that one.
the Smoking Mere,
Ooh, perfect.
That's where we're trying to go.
Yeah.
Blaze Hatchet Redoubt,
What?
That's awesome. See, too bad. Like
Byakuo
Joe's
Joe.
not here.
hold on, Byakuo Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Byakuo what?
Joe.
What does
Which-
that mean?
You don't know. It
Like
seems to
like
be a name
Dojo?
of- Perhaps.
Like
Maybe.
my sword person Byakuo?
Maybe.
Ooh.
Very cool. There's all sorts of cool things going on in there.
Hilton. Those are the names that are present.
Paris.
Hilton!
Oh,
Wow.
Hilltown.
Pockets
Or
was from
Hilton.
Hilton.
Oh, sorry. One last one.
Yeah.
Naricon. Last one.
How do you spell that?
I'm an Aircon. Very cool.
Honestly, guys, it's sounding like all these are probably keyed to a different Esper Edge. This is like me spitballing that, like
Yeah, interesting idea, yeah.
Yeah.
Hilton, I'm guessing has pockets. Blaze Hatchet Redoubt, obvious. Byakuo seems pretty obvious.
That's Ren, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch the one that's named after the the pick. It's a chick.
What?
I can't. I'm finding her. The
Sexism.
person. Well, it's a woman, I should say, not a chick.
Fair enough.
But
Rodden fears
Better.
the elven maiden who
Wait.
resides within Cranebeak.
And then what? Why was
Yeah.
everyone so suddenly excited about the smoking mirror?
Because it's close to where we want to be.
that was where we were supposed to go to get the unknown assistance or whatever. Wasn't that what it was called?
Make an intelligence arcana check or an intelligence religion check with advantage.
Who?
Who?
Anyone. I don't care.
23 with advantage.
No.
Nice.
Arcana is no advantage. Religion is advantage. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha.
Why not, right?
You have to be trained in it?
Nope.
Oh, wait, am I
Uh,
trained in?
John,
I got it. 10.
I'm using my inspiration. 23. Why not?
Okay. Everybody can roll it if they want. This should be common knowledge. You guys have been doing a lot of studying into the matter at hand. No Andy, no Zach, no Kevin.
No, I rolled bad.
Well, luckily Matt's good at stuff. The smoking
Yeah.
mirror refers to the mirror that resides the lake you were told about. Sure, that's a possibility, but it also refers to one of the 13 hells.
Oh.
Oh
The
boy.
smoking mirror is the hell that's ruled over by the demon prince of deception, by Teshnin.
Uh-oh.
So who knows? Could go either way.
Hey, crazy lady, the smoking mirror in these notes, does that refer to hell or to that lake?
I've never been. She throws like some weird bottle she just drank out of off to the side.
We were just near the lake. What do you mean you've never been? It was like whatever. We're not going that way.
Not allowed to leave the tower. Well, if you're gonna yell at me, forget it.
And she turns into a dove and flies back up the tower into her room.
Crazy old bat.
I'm a dove!
No.
She's
a dove.
I was waiting for that.
She turns back into a person just to scold you.
Okay, so yeah, do we want to go to Stormloft then, just so we don't like accidentally go to hell and incinerate ourselves?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
I say we
guess.
go to Stormloft.
You're like more exciting options, different things.
Yeah, but hell is not that well, I mean, it would actually be kind of fascinating
I
if
don't
we
think
just
that's
completely
the one that Andy was focusing on.
if we completely derailed and went to hell, you guys. How do you think John would react?
I'd have so
You'd
much
kill
fun.
us all.
No, I probably wouldn't. I'd just have so much fun. It'd be great. Do what you want though.
I'm kind of tempted to take us to hell, guys.
Well, Millette will have
Keep it a
no way of
surprise.
knowing
You
where
know
you're
don't
what?
think-
taking us and
I
how to
don't
stop
think
you.
any of us will be able to stop you from taking us wherever the fuck you want to.
I know, that's the thing. It's so tempting.
Do it.
We can talk about whatever we want to talk about, but in the end, Sam
Yeah.
says the fucking ruin.
Roll the dice, Sam. Take us
This
to the
would be-
smoking
Okay.
mirror.
Okay, I'm going to roll a d4. Even smoking mirror odds.
Well,
we
no,
go.
hold on a
We
second.
go to,
Put it up to a vote. Democracy. Let it happen.
should I really roll a
I
d4,
don't
not
know.
guys?
I think if he rolls it, it might be fun. We might all end up in hell.
Put it up to a vote. Put it up to a vote.
Yeah, I am. Do you guys want me to roll or not?
I
think
vote
you should
yes.
roll.
Roll.
Vote roll.
So I guess regardless of what, are you voting, Sam?
Wait. What?
No.
If you don't roll, what are you picking?
If I don't roll, we'll probably just go to Stormloft.
Roll the dice.
We could go to hell.
Zach?
Love that.
I'm all for the RNG.
The what?
He's for the random number generation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go for it. Whatever. Do it then. That sounds
Yeah.
like it's four,
Wait, what?
at least four.
What was
We're
that
all
button
gonna
from
die.
John?
I just want to make sure I understand. You're rolling a dice with the options on it, all of the options, or you ruled some out and
No,
are only
just
going.
Oh no,
Two
no, this is just between Stormloft or the Smoking Mirror, and even
1 and 2
even Smoking
equals
Mirror,
what? Okay.
even Smoking Mirror, odd Stormloft.
Boring.
Okay, John's like-
boring.
Yeah,
What?
Maybe Maybe we should roll and find out if we can go to the Esperedge places too.
There you
Why
go.
not?
Let's roll a D15
D12
and
or
see if
whatever.
Yako Joe.
Okay, wait. How many options do we have on this thing?
We
Let
go
me
see
see.
Mighty Joe
They're
Young.
the ones that you already know.
I'm gonna guess 13.
Right. So
And-
that's 3 plus 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
there aren't
9,
13.
10, 11, 12. Hey, there's
There should not
There's
be
like-
13. There
there's
should be about
12.
12, yeah.
yeah.
So,
All right, I'll roll.
one for
I will
everyone
roll a
with black
d12.
blade.
Let me just really quickly add the other 3 on top. So Stormloft Willie number 1.
Where was Cardiff from?
Who knows? Where was the doctor from?
I don't even
And
think
then
Cardiff
3
knew.
will be.
If you remember, Cardiff came from a causality loop at the beginning of time. It was the last session of Blood Right.
Okay, just to say these might be in the wrong order, I'm just going to put numbers by them.
Because him breaking
Oh, sorry,
the
they might be spelled wrong.
Him breaking the Arch of Time gave him the ability and the strength to break the Arch of Time, which allowed him to go back in time to break the Arch of Time, which was already broken because he broke it. But him breaking it and then you guys doing what you did with the curse caused the Arch to unbreak, which means it never happened, but it did happen.
Okay, guys, I just posted in Twitch chat numbers 1 through 12, and I will roll a d12. So this way, you know I'm not changing something to suit my whims.
Wow.
Roll a d12.
That's a 4.
Malorus Lair.
Oh,
That doesn't
gosh,
sound
no.
good.
That
doesn't
sounds
sound-
Fun.
that sounds
gonna be
real
so
bad.
That sounds
Oh!
amazing.
The foundries where probably the Soul Forge was.
Yeah, maybe.
Could be.
Probably.
It's not what you rolled.
Yep.
No.
So, again,
We can go there next time.
if that's your
Why?
if that's your intent.
Let's do it, man.
Why?
Yeah. Let's do this. Let's TPK, guys.
I wanted Hell or Stormloft. I wanted simpler options.
Sorry.
Wow.
Don't worry, we can get out of there if we have to. If we're alive.
Can we?
And worst comes to worst, we
Teleportation
do
circle.
another few 100-year time jump in this world. See what happens.
Yeah. We'll break the time.
After we destroyed a
After
city and
about an hour of work on
Such a
it, you
stupid
start
idea.
to perform the last portion of what you understand to be the ritual, empowering the glyph. And you finally get it to a point where you, with some help from Gilbert, empower the glyph and cause it to become imbued with magic. The first thing that happens is the entirety of the rune glows in visible light so that all can see it, bright, like cerulean blue, a light blue color. And then it just kind of generates that kind of same aura that the soul portal did inside of the pyramid. You feel like if you step onto it or send a familiar onto it, a living creature enters into it, it will be teleported through this portal.
Right. See
So
you on
this-
the other side. Sam walks in.
And I go, Sam, wait, this doesn't look like it goes to
The second
Stormloft.
Sam touches it, you watch his form basically just disappear.
And then I say, hey, everybody, I'm not sure. Looks like it was modified. I didn't know. I'm not sure. And I just go in there. I'm like, what the heck? Let's just do this. I go in there.
You enter in, the very first thing that you see is blood. 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 There appears to be a very large pit in front of you that is filled with blood, kind of swirling. Looks like kind of draining out to the sides into 4 grates. Behind you, there's a rippling and roiling black portal set inside of a large stone archway covered with glyphs. And directly across the pit of blood from you is a massive statue of a winged demon with braziers set out in front of it and offerings set before it. And then a blue gnome bumps into the back of you. And then what happens on the other side? There's nobody in here, though. At least it doesn't appear that there's anybody present. To your left, there is a large dais, and there are 2 smaller statues that seem to be side-saddling something there. And to the right, there's a high platform with pillars all ascending like surrounding something. And from what you can see from this vantage point, it looks like there is an altar with a bowl set upon it. Looks like the rim of the bowl is stained with blood. All about the floor at random positions are rugs, which appear to be like prayer rugs, but there don't appear to be any people present.
Guys, I just want to say I'm so happy with this.
If you two kind of are standing there kind of like focused, two things you're noticing. First off,
I was going to say I would like to cast see invisibility.
sure, nothing. The two things you're noticing though is that the portal on the ground does not dissipate. It appears to be permanent. And the second thing you notice is that the portal behind you, the one that's set inside of the archway with the glyphs that kind of ruin on the stone archway and it's kind of black and roiling, every so often you see hands and faces kind of trying to pierce this
Oh, I know what this place was.
What?
This was a place where they got the zombies from, right?
I don't know.
I'm
Maybe.
pretty sure that's... I'm going to double check my notes. I think that might be where this place is.
Oh man, you're good with the notes. Where did you send us, Sam? I think everybody thought we were going to Stormloft.
Does anybody else follow?
Must have screwed up on one of the glyphs.
Has anyone addressed Vrack directly in character?
No.
Because I'm pretty sure he's still in shock in the corner. Like, out of character, I'm all for the RNG and the rolling. I was on board with that. In character, he's still broken off in the corner, just like...
Literally, and also, you just watched as they're talking and there's like been drawing on the floor for the last hour or two. You then watch Sam walk into the center of a glowing blue circle and disappear. Like, it looked like he was ripped apart into the portal. The same thing like Harry Potter style, like that kind of thing. And the same thing happened to Gilbert when he followed. Broxgar,
They just Dr. Manhattan themselves.
Broxgar just being Broxgar also walks into the portal, just to add to
Broxgar!
the flipping.
We got you know.
Valette, also Tim, not realizing the full extent of Vrack, we'll go over to Vrack. Vrack, are you okay? They've gone through the portal. I think we should follow so that we stay together. Are you okay?
Takes a deep breath. Puts one hand on his sword just to remind himself that it's there. You know, mindfulness. Tangible objects are helpful. It's another deep breath. Looks down. I just found out I've been chasing the wrong person for my entire life. And less than 4 hours later, we got teleported away from my plane of existence? And now, you want me to step through what appears to me? And don't tell me if I'm wrong, lady brother here. Because what I'm seeing is a big blue circle that just ripped 3 people apart to shreds.
I think it's taking us to Stormloft, where we can get back to Rastegar from there. John, have I seen people teleportation circles, or have I used them in the past?
No.
Okay. So it's a yeah. I can understand. I can't understand what must be going through your head right now, but I'm sure it's a lot. And I'm not qualified to tell you to trust me because I'm the one that got us in this situation, and I apologize.
Then you step through the portal.
Okay. Hopefully I see you on the other side.
You better hope so, brother. Because if this tears us both to shreds, I swear to God I'll find you in the afterlife and ruin you. And there's a look of fucking death in his eyes. Like, there's no joke. I will...
He muted.
As you start
And I will just too explicit for our ears.
Can't do it. Too much pro. I mean, yeah. We get the gist. Those of
We
you
get
that
the
have
sense-
passed through, you notice that Broskar kind of walks over to one of the streams of blood, kind of looking at it curiously, kind of looking at it. You see him kind of reach down and put his finger in it and kind of look at it. It's real. It's
We're in a
Yeah,
bad place.
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
Where is this Kansas you talk about?
I don't know. It's a fucking expression from where I come from.
Let
Something
you
about a dog.
appear on the other side and see the horrorscape that is this malarial's lair.
Please tell me we're still alive. That the
You turn
Yeah.
around and you kind of see the form kind of trying to pierce the veil, and you're like,
I mean, I think we are.
please explain that to Vrak when he gets here. Otherwise,
do
you
you
might
follow
have to bring
behind
up a fight.
Rock after Valette goes through?
Vlad steps away from the portal, afraid of what's going to happen.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, no, I'm waiting till Ren steps through the portal. There's no fucking way I'm gonna be leaving anyone alive.
Yeah. Ren
Yeah.
sort of gives the fingers, come on, to Rack, and they could link arms and go together.
Do you take his offer?
I guess, yeah.
The two of you and appear in the hellscape I've explained to everyone else.
Valette dons her shield. And is hiding behind it.
But yeah, so I'm not entirely sure where this is, but I don't know. Seems kind of. Is it?
Cozy.
Yeah.
You have interesting taste, Red.
Yeah, I mean, the whole pool of blood thing doesn't seem cozy.
It would be fascinating if we're in the basement of the Bloody Duchess castle, though.
The Bloody
would
Duchess,
be
you hear
fascinating.
words come from nowhere.
Why does Valette always do it?
Did someone say the Bloody Duchess?
Oh shit!
That's today's keyword for unleashing.
All the parents start like, wow, wow, wow. And runs out and he's like, yeah, Bloody Duchess is the word of the day.
Nice.
I don't know why, Tim. I don't know why. Every time there's like something that triggers.
I can't do anything right.
I'm so sorry. You see the blood start to kind of coagulate in the center, and a form starts to kind of rise up from the blood. It appears to be made out of the blood. It takes on a male-like shape, kind of standing on the surface of the blood in the center of the pool. The Bloody Duchess, you say?
I would like to say, while I am laughing hysterically, Sam is just glaring daggers at Valette.
You can't take her anywhere.
You see Brockar kind of ready fury. The second the form appears in the center of the pool, the other thing you notice, Valette and everyone else notices, is that the forms of the Asperage spirits, which are normally just kind of tracers to you and not visible to everyone else, they're all visible to everyone now. And they seem to be taking more of a solidified form. The entity in the center of the pool says, I tell you, Bloody Duchess does not reign here, nor are we under her castle. Who are you that have entered this place? Who are you that seeks Maluriel?
Go ahead,
Sam,
Gilbert.
I was going to say Sam gestures for Valette to just keep talking.
You want Valette to keep talking?
What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, it's gonna get so much better.
Alright, go ahead, Valette. You got us into this mess. I look over at Valette.
Shield and sword, Valette is just not saying a thing.
You may call me Gilbert. And we are here, we are merely travelers. It appears that we have accidentally ended up here in this at this location. We will not be a trouble to you. We will merely teleport away when we get a chance.
I am not worried of you or of anything that you could do to me, for I am dead. I am dying eternal. I fell to the hero's blade. My reign, my attempt to bring forth chaos into the world, was ended long ago, left in this eternal state. I do not fear you, nor should you fear me.
Tim, I think that was
Interesting.
that Hawk that did that?
What's that?
Where
Oh,
where
okay.
exactly are we?
You are in my domain. You are here deep beneath the keep of the wizard.
Okay, good to know. Not vague at all.
It's not conglomerate related, is it?
Make a history check.
I don't have
Probably.
that, guys. But I could make it.
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so you're the one who makes
Yeah.
the dice roll.
I will
Yep.
do it. History check. Let's do this, people. For people at home, I just rolled a 3. I don't know much.
You're trying to puzzle out in your head, is that conglomerate related in your head, but you don't
Yeah.
really know anything about their history.
So, is there, besides like the portal thing that we went through, like ways out of here, or
You look back and you can see the portal still active. If you move to the center of it just like you did before, you'll probably go
Oh
somewhere.
yeah, no, I was asking him that question.
Oh, are you asking him about
Seeing
the
if-
portal that you entered in, or the portal, the big portal?
I was more asking about the portal that we entered in through.
It should remain active. You have opened it from within the pyramid.
Good to know. Just as another question, are we on the material plane? Just below it,
Yes.
so to speak? Okay, and then this is Matt saying this, or asking this question, but I think teleportation circle, we can create our own way out from wherever we are. We just have to know a circle that we can go to. Is that correct?
Accurate.
So we from here technically can get out.
Correct.
Right.
Whose wizard tower is this?
It is not a tower, it is a keep, a fortification,
Oh.
a bastion of defense.
If we were to try to teleport out of this room using a teleportation style other than the circle we came in through, would that set off any sorts of alarms?
My mortal form made sure that anyone who attempted to enter to my domain or leave it without my express permission would be sent there, and points to the portal behind you.
That's bad.
So, probably not the best thing to leave through a teleportation circle.
You can attempt it. You can also live by your own 2 feet, and he gestures up above. When you look up to the ceiling, you see that hundreds of feet skyloft, like it's pretty well lit in here, and you can see the ceiling's kind of like a cathedral-like ceiling, but in the center of it, directly above the pool, is an empty space. You don't know why that's the case, but you presume it leads up into the keep above.
Well, gentlemen, we might be able to fly up there.
I tell you, I have not been amongst the living for a long time, and many number of individuals have passed through this place since my death, so long ago. I know not how many days have passed, how many months, years, centuries, for I have seen no light and no sign of change within this place. When Marklehaye's sword struck me down, just there, looking over to the altar, my contract was sealed. My attempt to bring forth the hordes of hell was stopped. I'm certain he saved those he wished to save, but in doing so, has punished me to this agony.
Yeah, also, why did you not like necessarily hearing about the Bloody Mistress there?
The Bloody Duchess was one among the coven. I served Alacia Nagai, the Queen of Crimson, the mistress of the coven, her servant Sardik the Dark Wolf. He had a daughter who was born into royalty. Unfortunately, the wife did not live past the childbirth. She was known as the Bloody Duchess because of the death of her mother.
That could be useful.
Could we have your permission to leave?
I am no longer mortal. I cannot give it to you.
Who has to give us permission, or can we just leave?
You can
Okay, I think
exit out
I
the
think
way
we
you
can-
came.
Oh,
yeah, I think we can. Right. Just out of curiosity, John, do I think I could reforge the sigil on the other end to go somewhere else? Okay,
It'll
cool.
take some time, but yeah, you couldn't do it here. The stone looks different and a lot more sturdy. It looks like
That's fine.
the wooden floor on the other side. It's easy enough to carve and revert back to shapes that you want it to be in, with filling and the like.
Cool.
Yeah, here not so much.
Right. So, attempt number 2.
yeah.
You guys
Random
go back in?
generator.
Without searching around for anything.
I'm not sure it would be safe to search around. What do you guys
Yeah,
think?
I'm fine with not searching around for things that might kill us.
Tim wants
Agreed.
to search around.
Going
Valette
once.
is probably good with going right through the portal.
Going twice.
Can't you say some names while you're in there? Like, you know.
All right, you guys snap back to the other side. You guys are back in the tower of the Forest Witch.
All right, Stormwafter, do you want random number again?
I'm thinking RNG.
Alright, I'm all for Sam playing like, let's see what I keep throwing darts at a board just for fun. I'm okay with that. Just make it D11 now and remove 4.
Oh well, if I
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
roll 4, I'll just re-roll.
Just re-roll if you
Okay.
roll 4. Yeah.
You can roll a D11, by the way. That's a thing.
Well,
you can
yeah,
do.
but I have the chart.
Okay,
Yeah, it would mess it up.
that's fair.
2.
That's the second one.
Nice,
That's the
Kevin.
second
Nice.
one.
Wasn't
The
it?
second one.
Astral Veil.
Perfect.
Ostervale. Okay.
Ostervale.
Do 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 do.
Is this how you expected the evening to go, John?
Randomly going places.
Eh.
He thought it was a 50-50 chance when he put it in there. Knew.
Oh, so good.
So I knew that the door shutting was something I would kind of try and highlight, and I didn't expect it to be so gung ho of a yeah. But,
Slam.
I guess you can never anticipate a Tim, can you?
No.
All right, the Oster.
Oh man.
You shut your mouth, little baby boy. Just because I made
Don't
a
worry,
character
I
about-
will.
Just because I made a character about you in D&D doesn't mean you need to keep crying.
That's Henry.
Henry. Yeah, when we got it from an old lady, she called him Henry. We named him Nayland because Henry's a dumb name. Henry's a dumb name! Shut up! Okay, so, sorry, Ostervale. Alright. Perfect. Okay, so you spend some time forging out the pattern, and after a fashion, you manage to settle it right. The glyph glows blue upon generation, and then you step through together as one, or one at a time as before.
Let's do it together this time, guys.
Vlet has sword and shield ready, just in case.
Yep, might as well.
Together.
Yeah,
We'll be all ready.
sure. Why not? Hold
Alright.
hands.
The second you step through, you appear inside of an old, rugged barn. It looks like there's a large hay bale kind of close to where you're located that looks like it's kind of been distorted by the spell and kind of knocked on its side. Stuck in the side of it appears to be a longsword. Very just kind of simple make. Looks like it might be a militiaman's sword or an arming sword. And off on the side, you can see a young boy kind of like backed into a corner, kind of looking at you as you all just manifest in the center of this barn. The ground below you appears to be kind of an old stone floor, possibly of an older structure, but surrounding you appears to be a massive like cow barn. And beyond the bales of hay that you just distorted with the appearance, there appear to be several pens with cows, milking cows, you presume, settled aside. The boy kind of looks to you. Who are you?
I'm sorry, young boy.
We're here for your soul.
Ah!
Never mind him.
He runs
We
out.
found ourselves
He
here
runs out
by
of the barn. He runs out of the barn.
Sam. That might cause more. All right, I'm not one to talk.
Oh man,
Nice save.
what have we become?
Well, to be
Vlet
honest,
won't even admonish anybody.
you're the one who knows from the most mistakes. You should be the one who
Yeah.
teaches from that mistake.
Yeah,
I've
seriously,
done
you
that.
should chastise Sam.
Yeah.
He's an asshole.
All right.
Yeah. You,
I'll try to run out and grab that kid if I can.
Okay. If you rush out outside, the sun kind of blinds you for a second. You're kind of confused because it wasn't this sunny earlier. It was kind of later in the evening. It feels like it might be a couple hours behind. Like the sun is kind of setting at a different pace here than it might where you're from. And as you kind of see the sun kind of blind you for a second and kind of look to the side, you see that you're out in an open green field. Just across the way, there appears to be another barn, and then there's a barn house, and you can see the boy who's making great speed, heading towards that house.
I would just yell up after him. I would be like, sorry, my name's Gilbert, and we're not here. We're here in peace. And you
Gilbert,
run.
Keeps running.
Gilbert, you said
Alright.
you have teleportation circle.
I do. Do you need
Yeah,
that?
we can. Well, I'm pretty sure we're back in the material world, and one of the best ways to test that out is we can just, try to teleport back to, somewhere where that's closer to home. It's not here. Your basement, I guess.
Can I go directly to my basement? I thought I had to go to
You have
Stormlock.
you have a teleportation circle in your basement. You know
Yeah.
that that's a key place, so you need to make a teleportation circle here,
Here.
and
Okay.
then you need to.
All right, guys. Well, we got to find a safe place to do it, and who knows who that boy's going to call back. He could call the local militia or something, so we should probably move away and find a safe place.
As you're kind of standing outside and saying that, you hear a loud off from the barn house, and you take 14 points
Oh,
of
boy.
damage, Gilbert, as a bullet enters your shoulder and just shoots out the other side. Roxcar kind of
Alright.
you see him kind of get down and holding the axe, what the.
Oh, what the fuck, guys? This is not normal.
You see a cloud of smoke kind of appearing from the porch, and it looks like a very tall man. Looks like he has kind of dark features, a goatee. His hair is kind of pulled back, and he's wearing kind of dirty clothing, holding what appears to be a long gun. Just shot you.
Get
Hello.
the hell out of here, guys.
You see him start to cock his weapon again and say,
All right.
"Get off my lands!" Well, actually, that's not the right accent. Let me get the right accent. Hold on. I'm trying to get the right accent in my head by thinking of Grand Theft Auto 4. Hold on.
Oh.
Get off my lands. It's a little bit
Just
more
out of
Russian.
curiosity, how far away is this guy?
About 100 feet. Or about 200 feet, sorry.
200 feet. He's out of range.
Let's get out of here.
Valette sheaths her sword and says, "I'm sorry, my traveling companion scared your son. The rest of us mean no harm.
I'm not going to try and keep up
We'll
the
make our
accent
way
because I
out."
can't even keep it in my own head.
He's too far away.
And he
though.
says, "Get off my lands!" And
Yeah, he
he
doesn't
looks
want
like
to talk.
Right.
he's reloaded the
yeah.
weapon and is raising the gun.
I'm grabbing my shoulder and being like, "Let's just get the hell out of here. I don't think we want to kill this guy. You know, it's not worth it. Let's go."
You better leave before I call
Yeah,
the Bashir.
Oh shit. We're in the east. Or west. No, we'd be in the west. Right. Right?
Yeah, sure, we leave.
Okay. You go back into the portal and walk into it again.
Oh boy, we gotta go to another
Wait,
random place.
why would we go into the portal again? Couldn't we just walk off this guy's land?
We could if you want. If you want to do that.
I mean, we're on the material plane. Why should we necessarily try again? Just get off this guy's land and teleportation circle out of here.
We could do that. It's just so logical. You were being so random before. we don't expect it.
Fine, we can go back and I can roll again. I'm okay with this.
What do you think, guys? Should we get out of here? Should we try?
I don't know, man. How many more bullets can you take?
Not many more. We gotta go one way or the other. We gotta leave the land, or we got to go in that teleportation, or you know. Wait, was there a circle we came from? There must have been. He's saying
Yes.
we can go back.
Back in the barn, yeah.
Yeah, if you go back in the barn and get into the circle, you guys can go
Let's
back to where you
vote.
came.
Who wants to go back into the barn? I don't know. It might be interesting. I'll vote for that.
Alright, who wants to actually go somewhere useful?
Do you guys want to go somewhere like head out to go?
I think
storm
useful would be good.
Or no, we can go to actually my basement. That's not bad. Let's do that. I don't care. This randomness was kind of fun though, I have to admit. Kevin, as a player, enjoyed it. My character probably would want to go back to my basement. All right, so we'll go off the land then.
Okay. You wander off the land. You see him kind of like, keeping his weapon trained on you. As you kind of get a distance away from the barn, he starts walking towards it. And his boy kind of follows behind. And they start walking into the barn.
Should we have disrupted the circle so the portal went away?
I mean, they're going to end up inside of a giant tree house and then probably want to walk right back anyway.
Yeah.
But they might kill the old lady if they get spooked by the giant dove.
She'll be fine.
Alright.
She'll probably be fine.
You guys wander off a little bit of a distance away. You make it to what looks like a pretty massive road. And as you kind of are getting there, up above you, you kind of see a sight that you haven't really seen ever in your entire time. To my knowledge, none of you are Janarin. You see a bunch of ships floating in the sky, all kind of moving in and around and about what appears to be some sort of city off in the distance.
Or we could visit there before we teleport back home.
There's
Can
massive
I-
spires that rise up out of the cities. It has a very distinct skyline. And yeah, you can finish that sentence. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
That's okay. I may not recognize the Rostigar as a term, but I would recognize that dude had the same accent as Sword Brother Lady, right?
Yeah.
Can I see her? Can I talk to her?
Not anymore. In Maluriel's lair you could, but not here.
Okay. Damn. Then I have nothing.
Jonathan,
One second. Okay.
I think he's having cat problems.
Damn cat.
Hashtag cat problems.
So where do we think Malorial's lair exists on the map? And what was the name?
Idea.
And which wizard's tower or what wizard's keep is it?
Yeah,
'Cause I don't think it's Cardiff, but it could be.
I don't know. But it would have been nice if I could ask Sayre. She recognizes the city at least,
Well, one thing I'm gonna because Valette's probably been the most vocal with the spirits, so I'm curious if I activate Divine Sense, if I'll be able to talk to Sayre.
Mm-hmm.
But also,
No, the spirits don't appear to be visible. Valette, you can still see traces of them, but not in in distinct form.
okay. if I use divine in the past when I've used divine sense, that only helped
Let
in
you
that
see
one
them.
situation.
I'll let you see them.
Okay, but I can't really interact with them except for my personal dude, right? With Hawk.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Civil.
So, do we want to check out the flying city, or?
The city's not flying, just everything around it is.
Oh, it's not nearly
Very
as interesting.
tempting.
Well, it seems like the conglomerate is in full effect here. Do we want to risk running afoul of them?
They might be really interested in a certain person. Actually, probably all 6 of us, because they might know what we were involved in.
Actually, this would be an interesting opportunity to see what they're up to.
Yeah, I have to agree. It might be worth it, just to sneak in there. What do you guys think?
I don't know if we want to poke the bear, but if you all want to,
As you
I will defer.
finish that analogy, you kind of realize that's not the right analogy. It's more like
Rastigar's the
a
bear.
wasp of nests, or like a nest of wasps that you'd be poking. And based on the size
and it
of
would
those,
be Valette tumbling into the wasp's nest accidentally.
while saying something
knocking it off
stupid,
the tree.
just doing cartwheels in
What's
there.
that?
Let's go back.
But walking down the street, guys, we should just go back to the teleportation circle. I mean,
Yeah, what circle? Nice.
Suddenly, there's a bunch of conglomerate soldiers. What do you mean teleport? Fine, we can just go back to the basement.
Okay. If you guys head back that way, you will enter into the barn.
Oh no.
oh.
He meant we're gonna
Start
do the
making a teleportation circle. Sorry. What's the duration, like the casting time on that?
Oh
It's
boy.
1 minute.
Is
Takes
it a
1
minute?
minute to make the circle?
It's 1 minute to make the circle, yeah.
Okay. Alright. So yeah, you form the arcane circle.
As he's making that, Vrak would like to ask Gilbert, is there any way that these conglomerate peoples can trace this circle back to us? Is it really a good idea to make this thing right here out in the open and then just teleport straight to your basement, brother?
Sam, make an Arcana check. Wisdom
Man,
Arcana.
you know what, Brack? I think you deserve inspiration for that question. Sam might know the answer to that. I'd say probably.
You're pretty.
Track a lot of stuff.
You're pretty sure creating a teleportation circle out here in an open field and utilizing it to go somewhere where you think is safe is basically also leaving a door open for others to follow you behind.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't do it out here, guys.
Well, hold on a second.
That's
How
a
long
great
does
idea.
that... How long does this last?
Well, they can see what it is though, and
Well, yeah, but it
recreate
only lasts for 1 round.
Yeah, the magic does, but they could see see that somebody had done something and maybe use investigative techniques to recreate it. I think that's probably a very good point that Brock is stating. He probably came up with a strike of genius here. They may be able to, and that would be very bad. So we should probably find a spot that's very secret to do it. And even so, they may detect that we're doing it, and then find. All I'm saying is they could come into my basement and try to kill us all.
So
Very likely.
You're effectively creating the 1 round means the duration of your current teleportation. That's
right.
That. But what it means to say that's like as you cast the spell, duration 1 round. Hold on a second.
That's so you have to do it quickly.
Yeah, you're not creating a permanent teleportation circle.
Yeah, no, you have to work for a year. Well, no, but the spell consumes the chalk that you use. That's the thing.
Oh, that is a good point.
Right.
If that's the case.
So yeah, no, it would be a vestigial teleportation, but there'd obviously be trace magic. It could potentially be tracked back. You're not sure, but with that Arcana check, you're pretty sure that a spell would be noted as casting, and the traces of magic might be able to link them to you, depending on how powerful the caster that's stalking you would be.
Fine, we can go back to the barn.
I'm just saying it might be better to not risk it. That's our safety spot right now. Right? What do you think, Ren? You're usually pretty good.
Pretty good with what?
Pretty good with
What?
like, good ideas.
Teleportation circles is a little bit out of my depth, but I think going back to somewhere we know is better than going to somewhere we don't know.
Well, yeah, I would leaving behind a possible trace of magic. I think the fact that you brought that up, Vrak, is kind of amazing. So maybe you had a strike of genius there. All right, let's go back to the other space. We'll sneak back to the barn, go in there, and then start off again.
Well, when you get there, it is empty. There isn't anybody in there. You do notice, though, as you're kind of approaching the barn, just as you're about to kind of wind in and kind of enter into it, a flare goes off from the center of the house. The flare kind of detonates up into the sky about 300 feet. When you enter in, the magic of the circle isn't glowing, but as you kind of step into the area, it starts to glow. Like it's activated by one of your presences. And then you walk into the soul portal.
All right, cool. Let's do it. We all walk in, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe that flare was calling conglomerate. We should try
I'm
to.
sure it was. We got to hurry up now, probably.
You enter in,
But
you're
at least
back
they won't-
in the tower.
At least they won't know like that we went back to my house, so
Correct.
that's a good thing.
Gosh.
Thank you, Vrak,
I was
for that.
excited for a second when you said you wanted to go rush into the city.
Yeah, that'd have been great.
The town of Falcon Rest.
Okay. The town of Falcon Rest.
Rest.
Spent
Isn't
another
that- wasn't
couple
that-
hours working at it, and after a fashion, this cat keeps meowing. But after a fashion, you finish it, create the portal. It glows blue. You enter into it, and when you do, you realize that you're at a high point overlooking a town. The town appears to be constructed on many different layers of a waterfall that seems to kind of eddy its way through this rocky outcropping of hill and low mountain. Directly above you, massive mountains. Directly below you, just a massive veil of just open grasslands. The construction present doesn't appear to be like anything you've seen. Very rustic, but not of the same kind of Parnan style. It appears to be slightly different. Possibly a different place.
Okay. So, I have no idea where we are. Beyond something about Falcon Rest. Do I know where Falcon Rest is?
The name's not ringing any bells. It's certainly not. You do look down and see that the people that are kind of moving about the town, most of them have white hair and kind of like pale white skin, kind of moving in and about the area. You do also notice that there are a lot of Goliaths and several dwarves kind of mitigated throughout the population that you can see from up here. No one's really looking up at the mountain, so you don't think that anybody saw your appearance or is aware of your current presence.
So, do we want to explore, or do we want to try to go to the basement?
Wait.
If anybody wants to make an intelligence history check to try and discern like what kind of architecture we're looking at, you can go ahead and give that a go.
19.
Yeah. Why
19's pretty good.
Nope.
19's actually good enough. So it appears that you're looking at Osirian structures.
Oh, interesting.
So you're in the Northlands.
So, as I said, do we want to try to explore, or should we just go to the basement?
Well, I think we just need to find a place that's remote, so nobody's watching us when we.
Well,
you know.
Here's a question. Osirian, like, is that under conglomerate stuff at all? Or is
So-
that far enough outside?
With your history check, you would know that Osiria is a triumvirate. It's ruled by 3 kingdoms. There was a large civil war some 500 or so years ago, and conglomerate took over through one of the kingdoms known as Ludos. They're, at least from what you recall, paying attention, there's still rebellious forces that fight against the conglomerate, and they're based in the southeastern kingdom of Liberis. And then Munio is the north eastern kingdom. It's a bit more neutral. But the capital of Osiria, the main capital, is ruled by a regent who is a servant of the conglomerate. You also think, with that history check, you think you might have heard tales that this is more for your conspiracy kind of mentality, but you're pretty sure that the Magir of the city of Osiria, the capital, is a lich.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Get out the rubber bands, start pulling out the
Bastards.
thumbstacks. I need you to start linking everything together. Please do it.
Oh yeah, no, I started to make some connections there already.
The lich that was in that other tower, maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm wondering if it would be worth seeing if we can maybe say hello to your cousin.
Or run into the other campaign.
Ah,
Take
nice.
their ass for edges. Or swap.
Swap them, yeah. Can you? I'll trade you.
At the swap meet. I'll
Yeah.
trade you a broken black blade for something else.
I am somewhat serious though about like if people want to explore, I'm totally down for us actually checking things out before we leave. Like, you know.
There's nothing crazy happening. No farmers are shooting you with guns.
Yeah.
So far as to
Yeah,
say,
maybe
it's
we should go down.
pretty
that.
good.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
As you're coming down the way, these white-haired, pale-skinned fellows appear to be kind of like moving about, laboring, doing strong laborers work, kind of looking to you kind of strangely, but they give you a "hare, hare" is the term that they keep on using. You think it's Old Osirian, like the Osirian tongue, but you haven't studied up on that language. You just kind of give them one of those.
Hey!
As you kind of get lower down the rocky outcropping into the bigger portion of the town, the folk that you've been seeing, you see more of human folk with dark hair and kind of less fair complexions, more tan, and more not as pale as the folks up to the top of the mountain there. But yeah, it looks like a regular town. Just a good old-fashioned town. But again, like I said, it's built all about like the rocky portion of a recess of water that just streams down this hillside.
I whispered to Valette, don't mention the conglomerate here, please.
Valette, not giving any sense of like, of course. She just nods.
Yeah.
Silently.
All right.
All right.
So, just in case to catch you up, Zach, we just went down into the town to explore. None of us speak Osarian, so should be fun.
Right.
The folks are kind of not really paying attention to you, just on
Yeah.
about their days, doing their things. You see that there are a couple of kind of towards the center of this town, like close to what appears to be a very large kind of manor building with columns and very ornate stylings. You see that there are some people who have kind of set up like vendoring positions, people who are selling things. And you see that they're all kind of warily looking down the road from them as they're kind of like trying to bark and get people to buy their wares, but they're also all kind of focused in one direction.
If I look down that direction, do I see anything?
Sure. You look to see what appear to be 5 conglomerate agents, but in kind of more local garb, but you can tell that they're conglomerate agents because of certain telltale signature itemry, the conglomerates, CC, or serpents. And they appear to be led by a woman who's wearing kind of mithril plate armor, half plate you presume, and kind of red or adornments underneath. She appears to be, very graceful in her striding, and her hair is kind of like a short, kind of pixie cut blonde hair. And she has a long knife on her belt that has like a ring, like trigger ring, on its hilt.
And just out of curiosity, do I get any sense from these people that they're like not fans of her, or like why are they staring?
You're pretty sure that they're wary of her and they're kind of looking at her as she's moving towards them. But as you're looking at the agents and the apparent enforcer that's leading them, it looks like they're questioning people as they make their way up this way.
Yeah, we could turn around and go the other way.
We just tell them there's no collusion.
There you go.
That might work. Sure, yeah. We gotta turn around probably. I don't think we wanna. The other option would be they're probably gonna find us out, or at least
Well-
want to question us further.
It doesn't help that we don't speak Osirian,
You do hear that other people are speaking the common tongue. It just sounds like the ones that were kind of up towards the top are kind of speaking the old tongue.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay, that's something. But yeah.
Anything we can do about the active portal there?
I
'Cause they
mean,
probably will find it.
just to be fair, it only seemed to activate when we were nearby, so I don't think that's going to be big of a problem. I think that's because of Gilbert.
As you're kind of standing there dumbly and kind of looking around, you see an individual with kind of brown hair, leather armor, kind of pop out of a door, kind of look at you. Quick, quick, and kind of gesture for you to come to the door.
Okay, fine. We follow that guy, sure.
Are you?
Yeah, I'll follow.
He kind of leads you into the building, and you can see that there are a couple of other people in there. A woman who appears to be wearing similar attire to him, and an older man who's wearing kind of loose robes and kind of a holy symbol of Atavius upon his chest. The young man who gestured you in, he says, "What are you from the capital? Are you with the old guard? Were you separated when the fire started?
No,
What are you doing here?"
we are merely travelers.
Yeah, but you're so eagerly walking about with... Kind of looks to Valette.
Yes. Is
Yeah.
there something wrong with her?
You're not from the capital, you say?
Well, not this capital.
I don't even understand what you mean by that.
Like, from a different country. People can walk from places to places,
Yeah, but how did you get in through any of the ports? The ports are all watched by the conglomerate. On the inwards, at least. You're not with the guard.
No,
Are you
we're
with
not
them?
with the guard.
As he says that, you
We're-
see him start pulling a dagger out of his belt. Are you with them?
We're not with
Who's
the guard.
them?
Yeah, we don't like those guys that much.
The conglomerate. If you're not with the conglomerate, you're with the guard.
No, neither. We're just independent.
Tell us,
Yes, we're with the guard.
what
Are you-
does the guard stand for?
Yeah.
The old man says, "Davos, leave them be. They don't know where they are. It smells like they just got here. And I don't think they belong." The young lad kind of puts his dagger away. Of course. Kind of backs away. The old man kind of looks to you. Yeah. An elf. A half-orc. A blue gnome. Oh, you're definitely not from here, are you?
No.
Green-haired boy. A whelp of a looking boy, that is. And an undaunted.
And a dwarf.
And a dwarf. That's right there.
But yeah, you see him.
Sorry, he was behind everybody else. I couldn't see him before. He goes,
Yeah, well, he's
he goes-
short.
He goes, "Yo." And then the old man kind of looks at you. "If you don't want to get involved in it, then you ought to be leaving as soon as you can. I'll tell you, the enforcer, 126, she came from the capital, chasing Davos and his friends. They haven't arrived yet, though. They must have gotten lost on the road."
Do you know?
Why
a
were they
place-
chasing him? Sorry.
Oh, Oh, go ahead. No, that's a good question.
Davos says, because I'm an old guard. We stole some items of importance. And they burned my lord's house to the ground. And the secret hideout we had underneath. And I did some fighting, and I went back and tried to save some more people, and I was able to get Afrograd here, out of the town, or out of the city, rather. And the old man says, Davos, let me speak. The young lad kind of nods his head. Davos is a storyteller, a skald. He is usually better at this, but recent situations have got his tongue and his mind set on other things. He's unable to sing it as perfectly as I can tell you it. Those conglomerate are hunting him down because he took items from their library, from their museum. You see, they're stealing items from Osirian tradition and then selling them off to the highest bidder in other lands, even if they are our rivals from Meridia, even if they are some old bureaucratic mage from Janaris. Items that tell our history. They're selling everything piecemeal. Whatever brings them coin. And
How much are they charging? Oh, probably rude to ask.
According to Davos, they're ruled by a lich. An undead abomination. So, we're at war. Right now we're hiding. Most of the folks here in this town are servants of the nation of Munio, so they do not wish to be involved in the matter. And they look upon both sides with mistrust. So if you don't wish to get involved, I suggest you be on about your way.
Would you be able to get a safe passage to some place we be where we could be alone and get out of this place?
The woman in armor kind of turns and looks at you like you're an idiot. It's like the first time she's shown any emotion or anything, or even looked at you all. It looks like she's keeping an eye out of a specific window. And you notice too that kind of like low at her hip is a very large and very ornate looking crossbow. After giving you that look, Davos kind of chimes in, no, we're in no position to help you at all. If you're in a position to help us, then great, but if not, be on your way.
Well,
John, what was the agent's name? M what?
The Enforcer, 126.
126. Okay.
Bingo.
Do do I know her at all?
No.
Okay.
I'll let you make an intelligence history check. Maybe
Okay.
you know her by reputation.
Pro.
so
19.
Not good enough.
Nice.
Alright.
Oh.
Probably needed a 20 or 25. Is Enforcer 126? Does she simply follow orders, or does she take pleasure in bringing her twisted justice to others?
Davos kind of looks at you, so you've heard of her. Kind of like relating to the fact that the second option is the one. The woman.
No, but I've met her type before.
The one who's looking at the window kind of looks over her shoulder. They call her the Black Knife. She takes pleasure in cutting out the tongues of renegade mages. If she knew Davos were here, he'd never sing the song again.
How strong is she?
I don't know what I could gauge that against.
It
that?
does. Who knows?
Sack.
Belching in my
Does-
ear.
Is she a magic user herself, or is she swift with a blade?
I don't know. I've never fought her. I've ran from her a couple of times, and I've fought her agents, but I've never faced her off. This is Davos speaking, by the way.
Hmm.
Hey, John. I just messaged you.
Okay.
What are you thinking, Villette?
If
Sam
she's
sees an
here
opportunity here.
and she's cruel,
Okay.
it might be worth.
Um,
You know.
Ren,
Oh,
apologies. You're a bit more attentive. You're not really paying attention to what's going on. You kind of see some shuffling in the back corner, and then you see that Sam kind of looks over at you, and you see that there's like things that he's kind of just put out onto the ground. Looks like 5 crossbows, really nice make, and 3 bottles of some liquid.
What color is
So-
the liquid?
Kind of a weird, like dark color, kind of like an oily color.
Ooh.
You mean like a Molotov cocktail or a drinkable?
Neither.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sam.
So, I'm sorry. What was your name again?
The old man you're talking to, or the young boy?
The old man. Young boy's whipsnapper, not worth talking to.
Afograd. My name's Afograd.
Right. So, Afrograd, I'm from the Idealists in Rastagar.
Long way from
We
home.
also are not. Yeah, well, we're also not the biggest fans of Conglomerate and their doings. So I'm just wondering, would you be willing to take this as a sort of gift from the Idealists with the possible potential of, if things go well, maybe making a long distance alliance?
The blonde kind of walks over to the crossbows and looks down at them. She says, "May I?"
Certainly.
Davos, watch the window. He rushes over to the window dutifully, and she reaches down, grabs the crossbow, looks it over. Oh, these are quite nice. Well made. You make these yourself?
I've got friends who are better at making things than I am, but I sort of am rather high up in the rankings. I feel like I can make this offer.
She looks at Afrograd and kind of gives him a nod. And he says, "Well, if Salia's words are to be trusted, that's some decent merchandise you're offering. Yeah, I suppose that would be more than fair. Are you... You said you're from Rostagar. How did you make it out this far? Magic? Are you a renegade?"
Magic, yeah.
Most
Through
of,
the power of imagination.
most of the renegades we've had in our number have been hunted down and killed. So, we will take your itemry, but again, if you're going to assist us, we can help you in any way that we can, but I tell you, it's a fearful process. If you are courageous enough to rise to the occasion, then sure, we will take your assistance, and we will offer as much as we can in return.
Do you have any way to make contact over long distance? Some sort of address for the long waves or whatnot?
I am capable of casting the spell Sending.
Perfect. So, feel free to contact me. My name is Sam.
Okay.
If at all possible, I feel like this could be an interesting friendship.
You hear Davos say, they passed us by. I don't see them any longer." Celia kind of rises up from the crossbows and rushes over to the window, pushing Davos aside, and looks out there. "They're right there." And she gestures to the road. He kind of, "Oh." And she kind of slaps him in the back of the head. He kind of goes, "I'm your captain. Don't."
And actually, John, I'm also going to take out 10 of the potions of healing that I have and add that to the...
Okay. Afrograd kind of goes, "Oh. Yeah, more than fair. Yes, what can we do to assist you here? What do you need?"
I mean, right now, we have a way of getting back to where we need to get. We just need to make sure we're not necessarily in a spot where the conglomerate can find our trail, so to speak. detection and all that of
Davos,
magical sorts.
Davos, take him downstairs. And take this stuff down there as well. And he goes, of course, walks over to the gear and starts kind of like hoisting up the crossbows, kind of trying to get a couple on one arm and a couple on the other. He's got like a satchel bag on his hip, kind of starts putting the bottles into it, kind of misses a couple and leaves them out there, and then moves over to a portion of the floor, and you see him kind of whisper a word in, you presume Osirian, and the floorboards shift and become a trapdoor. And he kind of reaches down, grabs the ring of it, lifts it up, and there's a staircase that goes down. Come with me. And heads down into the basement. Afrigad looks to you one more time before you leave, and he says, I'll be reaching out to you. And again, if you need to reach out to me, if you have any requests, the items you've given us today should be helpful. You descend down into the basement. Down there, you see that there's probably about 4 or 5 other people. And
I'm debating on saying something stupid.
there's about 4 or 5 other people down there.
Tim, do it, Tim. Say something
right.
stupid.
Valette, if anyone catches her, she'll just come, but like tries to hold back to say an encouraging word to Afrigrad.
Okay.
Do people say anything or just keep going and not take notice of Valette?
Sam's got a perception of 10. He doesn't know.
She turns to Afrigrad and says, "Take heart. Their sick, misguided justice can come to an end. Towerfall has occurred in Rastagar. Sam is a significant part of that. He's a strong ally."
You destroyed the tower in Rastagar?
It has been destroyed.
He turns into a demon prince. No.
And he kills you immediately.
Bide your time.
I'm kidding.
Be cautious. Be wary. They can be.
Then every amount of help that you can give us, we will take. Thank you. Be wary if you travel outside of in Osiria, in any of the nations here. Your kind are a very well kept secret. The reason for that is the conglomerate use you as slave labor in the mines of the Black Sands.
I was formerly a enforcer for them. I have.
And things must be very different in Rastagar than they are here. Perhaps the rule of the Mage here has made it the case, but every Undaunted that was here from the Civil War was placed in a working mine in the Black Sands. So,
Thank you. I will make sure to hide myself as best I can if ever need travel.
Yep. You're lucky Celia can spot the differences. If they had saw you first, I guarantee you 126 would have taken pleasure in bending you to her will.
And hopefully I would have rose to the occasion and gained the upper hand and ended her cruel.
Perhaps. If you've taken down a tower, you hear a voice downstairs, Sam going, "Come on!" You come on down the stairs.
Yeah.
There's about 4 or 5 other individuals down there. Well, to be precise, there are exactly 5 individuals down there. One of them looks really wounded, and very, very wounded. He appears to be of Sayerhujan descent. Laying next to his bed is a really nice-looking axe with a kind of mountain symbol engraved into the axe head. It looks like he's taken several cuts, and he's wearing kind of fine-looking clothing. But what you notice about him is he also has a very similar symbol to the one that Broxgar wears, the Association of Talnumri. And he kind of like looks up at Broxgar and kind of gives him a nod, and Broxgar kind of gives him a nod in return. The rest of you are kind of led to the back, and you enter into...
Well, wait, Gilbert, shouldn't you, like, give him a hand really quickly? You know.
Valette will go over and lay on hands him for 20.
Yeah, he seems to get a lot better, and, kind of laying there in the bed says, "Thank you so much for your assistance. I just wish I could have
Better.
made it to. I. I don't know where she's gone, milady. I don't know where she's gone.
Who are you searching?
The Elven ambassador, Lady Fi. She's lost in the woods with Borgo. I've got to find them. You see a woman kind of come over in the leather armor and attire, similar to the ones upstairs, and she says, "Thank you so much for your help. Don't move, E.G. It's fine. You'll still need some rest, even though the miracle has been performed upon you. Please, don't struggle too much." He kind of lays his head back down on the pillow.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Sam has this strange like thing going on his stomach where like for some reason there's this how to describe it, like other people exist.
So when you kind of look to the back room that you're kind of being gestured to by Davos, you can see that the room that you're in seems to be like an actual foundational like structure built underneath the house. But then there's a wall that's been kind of like broken out or is kind of separated away from the foundation, and there's like a separate room. That room appears to be lined with black stone, almost kind of like an obsidian sheen. And on the floor, there appears to be like a bunch of markings in Draconic, but you immediately recognize, Sam, the runes are backwards. The Draconic runes are in reverse. And being kind of a master of conspiracies, you recognize that being the magical writing of the Meridian people, or cultists who worship Alanusuro. Davos says, "This chamber is protected by old magics, dark magics, but they keep us safe from the conglomerate. If you're able to utilize the space for whatever you have planned, you might be safe casting spells in this place without being seen by their sight."
All right, thank you. I'm gonna cast healing on myself
Okay.
because I got shot earlier.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Still a little bit of blood trickling. Like,
Yeah,
oh. Okay.
and then guess I could help Sam put together a teleportation circle, right?
Well, if he's just casting it to go to your place, he's not going to be the one casting it. You're going to be the
Oh,
one
I'll be
casting
going
it.
casting it. All
Yeah,
right.
I didn't take teleportation circle since you already have it.
All right, sweet. I will cast it then. Boom. Teleportation circle. It's a very long spell.
Okay. You cast Teleportation Circle, and it manifests in the circle of the area. You have everybody enter into the circle, and poof, you appear in that same basement space in your house
Oh boy.
with everybody.
Nice.
And that's where we'll leave off for tonight.
We made it back home.
So many other
Bianca
directions.
jumps out.
Alright. Well, thank you for watching. Great session. And we'll see you, not next week, because Gen Con, the week following. Alright. Good night.